until finally she had selected the perfect place to enact her revenge.
On
November 13th, 1935, Shi Jinchao steps into a lay Buddhist hall and, as expected, finds Chuanfang kneeling with his eyes closed, leading a group in the chanting of a sutra. As he continued the recitation, Shi Jinchao slowly walked directly behind her father's murderer and carefully drew her pistol. She points her weapon at the former warlord and coldly unloads 3 rounds into his head and back.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
What's up, man? CrestSzn in the building.
Hey man, it's Crest in the building.
Hey man, I'm not even gonna lie. I like these serious history videos or whatever they call the little animations talking about the little story or whatever.
100%.
The last video kind of had me a little fucked up because they was lying to us.
That was the survival stories, right?
Yeah,
that was crazy. That
video probably just go check it out. They was capping like shit in this video, but let's see what they talk about in this video. What we get to today?
Let's get straight into it. Listen, we got most epic revenge stories in history.
Hey man, you already know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. This is gonna be a little longer video, so get your popcorn, get your 40 ounces of blunt, and rock out, bro.
Now let's do it, baby.
For more extreme revenge stories from history, Peter I of Portugal. It's 1340, and Peter, the son of the king of Portugal, is unexcitedly awaiting the arrival of his future bride. This marriage wasn't one Peter was looking forward to. In fact, this was all his father, King Alfonso's idea.
I hate arranged
See,
so
at the
sick.
time, Portugal was a relatively small kingdom that shared a border with Castile, a large and powerful nation. Understanding it was probably better to make friends and not enemies, Alfonso negotiated a deal to have his son marry the daughter of a powerful Castilian noble. The contracts were signed, and the king felt great that his son's marriage would help keep his kingdom safe and secure. Never in 1,000 years could he imagine what would happen next. The royal procession from Castile arrives, and out steps the most beautiful woman Peter
My nigga. I'll leave that in the video, fuck you.
had ever seen. His jaw hits the floor and he can't stop staring.
So it's fine shit?
Caramba, she is stunning.
Okay.
A total 10 out of 10 baddie. And the
I'm
future
saying,
king
this is a
instantly
revenge story.
falls
What's wrong with
madly
this
in
so far?
love. But there was just one problem. The woman he was staring at was actually not his bride. She is a woman named Inés de Castro, his future wife's lady-in-waiting. His real fiancée, Constanza, exits the carriage next and approaches Peter to introduce herself. She's nice and all, but as hard as the prince tries to focus on the woman who would soon be his queen, he just can't take his eyes off Inés. Peter and Constanza get married to fulfill the contract signed by their fathers, and they go on to have a very unhappy marriage. The entire time, Peter is not so secretly hooking up with Inés, and rumors of their affair quickly spread through the court. Constanza grows increasingly frustrated with her husband's infidelity, and eventually she tries to get him to name Inés the godmother to one of her children. This was something that in that period would basically make the affair incestuous, but that child died within a week of birth. So
that's the thing
Inés
about
dodged
the
that bullet.
1300s, like giving birth you could die, you get a paper cut you can die.
That's a fact.
You get the common cold you die. Like this is fucked up.
And their medication, they're probably feeding you some bullshit.
Bro, the medication, they used to like cut your veins open and just let blood pour out and sew it back. That's fucked up, man.
As frustrated as Constanza was with Peter, his father Alfonso was even more upset. His stupid son couldn't keep it in his pants, and now his affair was putting the entire kingdom at risk. See, an important detail in this story is that Inés's brothers were powerful, but now exiled Castilian noblemen who quickly befriended Peter when he started hooking up with their sister. Peter started to give them important roles in his court, and Alfonso worried that his idiot son might get dragged into some Castilian political war. The king starts trying to banish Inés from Portugal, sending her to various regions in the Iberian Peninsula. But his son just spends all of his time writing letters to her. In the end, all of his efforts to break up his son and side chick fail, and Alfonso's forced to keep Inés closer to him in Lisbon to keep an eye on both of them. Constanza dies in 1349 due to complications from childbirth. Peter is still performing his royal duties of making new heirs, by the way. And when this happens, Peter is overjoyed. Finally, he can officially marry Inés and live happily ever after.
Other John
King
died.
Alfonso is having none of it. He banishes Inés to Coimbra and explicitly forbids Peter from marrying her. Peter, unsurprisingly, tells his dad to shove it and follows Ines to Coimbra, where they live together and have 4 children.
Oh,
Alfonso is now at his wit's end. These illegitimate heirs could one day try to make a claim for the throne, and Portugal could spiral into a civil war. Enough was enough. Ines had been nothing but trouble since she arrived 15 years ago.
You about to offer?
His son must choose Portugal or this woman. And so, Alfonso hatches a plan to ensure Peter picks correctly. In 1355, King Alfonso sends 3 men to Coimbra. They find Ines in a monastery, and in front of her young children, they cut off her head. Peter returns and finds the love of his life dead, and he is destroyed. He cries loudly, overwhelmed by feelings of grief and guilt for not being able to protect her. But soon his tears burn hot with hatred and anger towards his father. Peter raises an army and begins attacking and terrorizing areas in northern Portugal. In his efforts to prevent a future civil war, the king had accidentally caused
niggas nowadays say, I'm never beefing over pussy. This nigga started a whole fucking revolution.
No, yeah, nigga, you cut off my wife's head.
That's fucked up. You gotta go get some get back.
What he had feared. The forces of Peter and Alfonso fought for nearly the entire year, and in the end, Peter loses. His mother, the queen, is able to negotiate a truce between father and son, but the prince never forgives his father.
Die in a war
2 years later, Alfonso dies, and Peter becomes the new king of Portugal. He immediately orders that the men who murdered Ines be captured and brought to him. The assassins are hunted for years until 2 of them are finally apprehended in Castile in 1361. The 2 assassins are dragged before Peter, and with contempt in his eyes, the king stares at the men who killed his beloved Ines. The men are put on trial in public and found guilty. As punishment, Peter orders their hearts to be ripped out while they are still alive. Some sources say that he himself participated in the execution, screaming, "You have done the same to my heart!"
Fatality.
What usually comes next in this story is apocryphal, meaning it may not have actually happened, but it is said that Peter then declared to the crowd that he had married Ines before she died, and that she was his rightful queen. He has Ines's body exhumed, dresses her corpse in the finest clothing, and places her on the throne. Lovingly staring at the remains of his mistress, he crowns Ines the Queen of Portugal. He then forces every single nobleman to swear his loyalty to his queen by kissing her rotting hand. Following this coronation story, which may or may not be true, Peter then had Ines entombed in the Alcobaça monastery. In his final will, Peter orders that when his time comes, he also be laid to rest there with Ines. Inscribed in the marble of his tomb are the words, "Até o fim do mundo," until the end of the world. And that is where they both are to this very day.
My nigga, the assassins didn't really do shit. They just followed
orders. The early half of the 20th century was a time of complete chaos in China. In 1912, due to political pressures, the 6-year-old Qing Emperor Puyi abdicated his throne, officially ending the 268-year-old dynasty. Within just 4 years, the country that was once the most powerful nation in Asia devolved into a land of constant violence, with areas governed by regional warlords fighting for control over the now toothless government in Beijing. This era is known today as the Warlord Era, and amidst the mayhem, a young woman would make history when she set out on a decade-long quest to avenge the death of her father. It's the 1920s, and Shigolan is a college student in Tianjin. Unlike most people who were suffering greatly in the warlord era, Gulan's life had taken quite the opposite turn. Her father, Shi Kongbin, had enlisted in the local military, and he quickly rose through the ranks. By 1925, he had gone from being the son of a simple farmer and tofu seller to a brigade general serving a powerful warlord aligned with the Fengxian clique. His family, including Shigolan, had in the process gained the status and prestige that came with such a rank. Everything was going great, until a second war broke out between the Fengxian and Zhuli cliques that changed her life forever. By October of 1925, the Fengxian had defeated the Zhuli, but a military governor named Sun Chanfang had used the opportunity to seize control of his area, becoming a very powerful warlord himself. Shi Kongbin is deployed with a brigade of mercenaries to capture a city in Chuanfang's territory, and things initially go well for him. But during the battle, he and his men are caught off guard by a sneak attack led by the warlord himself. Kongbin's forces are quickly overwhelmed, and he is taken hostage. The following day, he is tied up and brought to a local train station. A crowd gathers, and Chuanfang orders his prisoner decapitated. Kong Bin's head is paraded around the station on a bamboo pike and then displayed for all to see. News of her father's death reaches the young Shigolan, and she initially mourns the loss of her father. But soon her tears of sadness burn her cheeks, and she is consumed by anger. This warlord had not just killed her father, by displaying his head, he had dishonored his entire family. How could anyone tolerate such disrespect?
Before they get
She swears that she will stop at nothing to avenge her father and restore her family's honor. But that would be much easier said than done. See, Chuanfang was now one of the most powerful warlords in China, and Shigolan, well, she was a 21-year-old college kid. The thought of a random student assassinating someone that powerful seemed highly improbable.
Yeah, how the fuck
but
did she do
Gulan
this?
had made up her mind. She changes her name to Shi Jianchao, the Rising Sword, and sets out on a quest for revenge. But before she was able to find Chuanfang, the warlord's life would take the most peculiar turn as well. By 1926, Chinese citizens were sick and tired of the warlord system. A group from the south of China, called the Kuomintang, took advantage of this public sentiment, and they set out on their own quest to defeat every warlord in China to reunite the country. This whole event, called the Northern Expedition, probably deserves its own video, but to massively oversimplify the story, the warlords were all defeated by the KMT in about 2.5 years. This didn't really fix the constant fighting in China, but with the warlord system gone, Chuanfang lost everything he had worked for. Left with nothing to show from the last 15 years of being a ruthless warlord general, Chuanfang shaves his head and actually becomes a devout Buddhist. While all that is respectable and all, I guess, Shi Jianchao didn't get the memo, and she begins tirelessly working to unearth clues to identify and locate her father's killer. For 10 whole years, she chases leads, traveling hundreds of miles searching for Chuanfang, until finally, she finds him in the city of Tianjin. As she watches the former warlord from the shadows, it takes all of her self-control not to end him right then and there. But she had spent a decade of her life in preparation for this moment. She knew that she would only have one shot to take him down, and she could not waste that opportunity. So, instead, she stalks her prey for months, learning his daily routine until finally she had selected the perfect place to enact her revenge.
On
November 13th, 1935, Shi Jianchao steps into a lay Buddhist hall and, as expected, finds Chuanfang kneeling with his eyes closed, leading a group in the chanting of a sutra. As he continued the recitation, Shi Jianchao slowly walked directly behind her father's murderer and carefully drew her pistol. She points her weapon at the former warlord and coldly unloads 3 rounds into his head and back. Chuanfang instantly falls dead, and the hall erupts into a panic. But instead of trying to run away, Jianchao proudly sits next to the dead body and begins to hand out leaflets she had prepared prior to the killing.
See, she more savage than all the American niggas. Them niggas get in that room and start squealing. It wasn't me. It was him. She said, all right, I'm ready for what's coming. And it says China. She about to get her head chopped off for face tapping.
It's 1935.
That explained why she did what she had just done. Shi Jianchao is arrested for murder, but the media picks up the story of the killing of Chuanfang, and it instantly divides the people of China. The traditionalists see her actions as the ultimate form of filial piety, the Confucian doctrine of love and honor for one's parents, while the modernists demand justice and to uphold law and order. Her court case becomes the biggest story of the year and eventually reaches the Supreme Court in Nanjing. Due to overwhelming public support, she was granted a full state pardon, and the killing of Chuanfang was deemed an ethically justifiable act of filial piety. Having avenged her father's death, she peacefully lives.
Stick, nigga.
Dead ass.
Like poking that shit in the air. That's good. That's great get back. That's a great story.
She had to do that.
That's a great story.
Out the rest of her days and dies in 1979 at the age of 74. Ain Jalut. Okay, this last story completely blew me away because not only was it the first time someone actually stopped the Mongol conquest in its tracks, it's probably one of the craziest movie-like stories of revenge in history. It's 1231, and the once vast and powerful empire known as Khwarezmia lies in complete ruin as retribution for the disrespect shown to Mongol emissaries by the governor of Otrar. Genghis Khan and his army had invaded the land, killing an estimated 15 million people as they burned entire cities to the ground. Amongst the remnants of the once proud civilization, the Mongols who continued their occupation of the land find a young Khwarezmian prince and sell him to a slave merchant in Egypt. The boy is purchased by the local sultan and is put into training to become a Mamluk, a warrior class of slaves used by the rulers of the Muslim world as elite knights. The former prince is thrown in with the rest of the slave children and is forced to endure the strictest of training regimens designed to turn boys into hardened men. From a young age, he is thrust into combat against other children, and he is given the name Kutus, the rabid dog, because he fights like a vicious beast against the other slaves. Kutus rises through the ranks and eventually becomes the vice sultan of Egypt in 1253. By now, the Mamluks had revolted against their masters and established their own sultanate, becoming the rulers of the land. Against all odds, the former prince had made his way from slavery back to a royal position.
That's
a
crazy
easy life was not his destiny, and ghosts from his past would soon return to haunt him. Though Genghis Khan had died in 1227, his grandson, Hulagu Khan, had continued the Mongol expansion westward. Like demons, they had brought nothing but death and destruction to every land they touched. In 1254, they sacked the city of Baghdad and massacred all of its inhabitants, ending the Islamic Golden Age. The Mongols then pushed into Syria and took the cities of Aleppo and Damascus. The Ayyubid Sultan sends word to Egypt, pleading for help against the Mongols, and Kutus is haunted by the memories of the destruction of his homeland. He knows the horrors the horde from the east will bring, and if the Mamluks are to have any chance of survival, Egypt must have strong leadership. He deposes the young and inexperienced sultan and takes the throne for himself. As if on cue, Hulagu Khan's diplomats soon arrive in Cairo, and they begin to read a very...
Say there's 1,000 people in like a village, right?
Yeah.
You kill 999 of them, like, yo, like, all right, come on, I'll ride with y'all niggas. Like, you not giving niggas chances? Thirsting everybody, that's fucked up. That's really some evil shit,
Mongol-sounding message to the new sultan. From the king of kings of the east and west, the great Khan, to Kutus the Mamluk, who fled to escape our swords. You should think of what happened to other countries and submit to us. You have heard how we have conquered a vast empire and have purified the earth of the disorders that tainted it. We have conquered vast areas, massacring all the people. You cannot escape from the terror of our armies. Where can you flee? What road will you use to escape us? Our horses are swift, our arrows sharp, our swords like thunderbolts, our hearts as hard as the mountains.
I'm like, matter of fact,
our soldiers as numerous as the sand. Fortresses will not detain us, nor armies stop us. Your prayers to God will not avail against us. We are not moved by tears nor touched by lamentations. Only those who beg for our protection will be safe. Hasten your reply before the fire of war is kindled. Resist.
All right. So the nigga, if a nigga texts me before the fire of war is rekindled, I'm like, yeah, any nigga talking that crazy, like a nigga's like, oh, boom, you want to say like, all right, maybe that's not gonna scare me. Yeah. But the fire of war being rekindled, like,
that's crazy.
Right, yeah,
hold on. These niggas, so pretty much I'm guessing they got an offer like, yo, if you beg to us, nigga, we'll keep you alive. Tell me 15 niggas said, nah, kill me. Them niggas way better than me.
But I'm saying though, right? Imagine just like, this is the higher ups. Imagine just being a normal nigga.
Yes.
Selling, like being a merchant at this time.
Yeah, just
I don't want no smoke. I could be a merchant under the Genghis Khan and them.
Hell yeah.
Like, nigga, why do I gotta die because you stubborn?
Just trying to live.
That's fucked up. That's selfish as fuck.
And you will suffer the most terrible catastrophes. We will shatter your mosques and reveal the weakness of your God, and then we will kill your children and your old men together. At present, you are the only enemy against whom we have to march. As the messenger speaks his final words, the Mamluk advisors are literally shaking in fear. Kutus looks to his officials and his blood begins to boil. He calls for counsel away from the Mongol diplomats, and in private, the Sultan begins an impassioned plea to the council. You all have lived good lives funded by the taxes of the people, and now you wish to abandon them? Kutus continues to argue with those who wish to flee, and his voice begins to quiver with desperation. Finally, he looks to his advisors as tears begin to stream down his cheeks. My brothers, who will defend Islam if not us? The Mongols had taken everything from him as a child. He could not let them do it again. The generals and nobles are moved by his words, and despite knowing they would most likely be accepting their own deaths with the decision, they agree to follow him into battle. With that, Kutus and his men solemnly return to the Mongol messengers. The Sultan looks towards his guests and calmly gives a signal. His soldiers step forward and slice the diplomats in half. their heads are removed and hung from the south gates of Cairo as an open act of defiance. A letter is sent to Hulagu notifying the Mongols that the Mamluks will not bow down and will instead fight to the end.
Killed the niggas that sent them the
Kutus
message.
is soon
Holy
joined by a
shit.
rival Mamluk general named Baybars, a man who was also sold into slavery as a child by the Mongols.
Damn.
And they quickly begin to raise an army and set out to confront
Did
the
you get
enemy
Genghis
from the
Khan's
east.
grandson?
The Mamluks cobble together 24,000 men, but they are vastly outnumbered by the Mongols, nearly 3 to 1. It looks like this will be another trademark Mongol Muslim massacre, but fate intervenes when the great Khan Monka dies. Hulagu is forced to return to his
Grandson got
homeland to
smoked.
help decide on the successor, and takes most of his army with him. He leaves his trusted general Kitbuka with around 12,000 warriors to finish the job. Kitbuka had recently converted to Christianity, so he recruits some Christian soldiers from Armenia and Georgia to bulk up his army, and then begins preparations to invade Egypt. Kutus gets word that Hulagu had left the area, and he and Baybars immediately ride out to force a battle with Kitbuka. They find the Mongols camped near a spring called Ain Jalut in Galilee. Baybars had spent time in the area as a fugitive and was familiar with the terrain, and he comes up with a battle plan to use the Mongols' own tactics against them. The bulk of the Mamluk army, commanded by Kutus, is left hiding in the trees, and Baybars takes a small detachment to directly attack the Mongols. Baybars and his men charge the Mongol camp and harass them for hours with hit-and-run tactics. Every time the Mongols run out to fight, the Mamluks pull back closer and closer to Kutus. Eventually, Kitbuka grows frustrated and he orders a full charge. This is exactly what Baybars had been waiting for, and he quickly orders his warriors to fall back. The Mongols, now enraged the Mamluks are again running away, blindly chase them. And Baybars and his men lead them directly to Kutus.
The back door,
trap
not
had been
back door,
set,
but
and the
setup was
Sultan
crazy.
gives the order. Kutus's army emerges from the forest, and archers send a storm of arrows down onto the...
I don't give a fuck what battle. I'm not being in the first row.
Nigga, if I'm on a horse, nigga.
But I'm saying you in the first row, you can't even dip.
No, you're done, nigga. You're done.
I'm probably gonna be in the middle. I'm not gonna be in the back.
Shit, we out.
I'm not gonna be in the back or on the side. I'm gonna have to be in the middle of that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
You feel me? Cause
Shit, we out.
the unsuspecting Mongol riders. The Mamluk heavy cavalry then makes a full charge and smash directly into the enemy line. Kitbuka and his warriors are initially shocked by this surprise attack, but they quickly regain their composure and begin
12,000.
fighting back. The battle is brutal, and the Mongols quickly
I would hate
prove
to
that
be in
their
this.
reputation was well earned as they begin to savagely tear through the Mamluk army.
Yeah, this is
Kutus
crazy.
watches from a
Yeah, this
distance as
is
his left
wild.
flank begins to falter.
12,000.
You have to have a different
I'm not
type
gonna
of-
lie. Like say if it's 3 niggas, they all just throwing their hands. I would hate to be in there. You feel me? Just know I can get snuck. 12,000 niggas, spear and sword, no guns.
Bows in the air, two niggas just.
So you niggas just face tap.
Niggas not even aiming that bitch. They're just. The little cannon, the shit too they had, just throwing rocks in the air.
That's crazy. They just in the field with it, nothing like there's no like pop out the bushes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Yeah.
like that's not modern warfare. This is straight just banging.
And it appears that the
Holy
Mongol
shit.
forces are about to break through. His mind is flooded with memories of his childhood. He cannot let history repeat itself.
Don't tell me he's about to do
And
some
so,
fucking-
without a moment's hesitation, Kutus abandons his post and charges headfirst into battle. As he rides, he throws off his helmet and shouts, "O Islam! O Allah! Grant your servant Kutus a victory against these Mongols!" His warriors turn to see who is shouting and are shocked to see their sultan riding into battle to fight alongside them. Kutus continues to charge
Man, the nigga was
forward.
cold when he was
"O
practicing."
Islam!" He screams and his words fill the
that nigga.
Mamluks
Shut your
with
ass
renewed
up.
courage. They regain their composure and they begin to
Don't tell me
fight
this nigga
back.
just went in and
The
started
battle
riling on
rages
niggas.
on with Kutus now on the front lines, and soon the Mongols do something they had never done before.
running?
They begin to run
Now, I would've
in
been out
fear.
when I saw 12,000
Kitbuka
niggas.
cannot believe his eyes as his warriors flee past him. He tries to rally his
No way
remaining
that nigga
men,
was
but
that
it is
cold
no
that he
use.
just ran into. You think that nigga was that cold where he just ran into war?
Probably exaggerated.
I feel it was
because the
exaggerated.
winners can rewrite history. You know
Yes,
that.
100%.
So it's probably exaggerated. But probably something like this happened. If
feel
he
like-
survived to tell the
If that
story.
nigga, bro, imagine this shit's real though. The nigga went out there just boom, boom, boom.
He probably was wilding though.
Nah, he probably was.
tweaking though.
Nah.
but not.
The other thing, how many of them?
They was probably winning though.
Yeah.
Probably winning the battle. Okay, I'm gonna go in now and start wilding.
Yeah,
And I'm like, all right, now we out.
Because how many niggas do you think are actually trained in the military to be cold? You feel me? For that nigga to be cold, there's levels to this shit.
Probably
So
basic training, but like to be cold.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, think about it. Like to have that much trauma, see your whole family get killed by these niggas, right?
Yeah.
Training these. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on these. He's probably thinking about this his whole life, right?
Facts.
Now, like I finally got the opportunity to I'm back in royalty, whatever. and get his lick back. He probably is wild. He probably got like an anime power boost.
Nah, yeah, no bullshit.
The Mongol general and those who stayed to fight are all slain in battle.
Damn.
Hulagu Khan receives word of the Mongol defeat at Ain Jalut and is enraged. He orders the execution of the last of his Ayyubid prisoners, but the damage had already been done. The illusion of the Mongol invincibility had been shattered. 5 days after the Battle of Ain Jalut, Qutuz and Baybars retake Damascus, and within a month, they also free Aleppo from Mongol control.
Damn.
2 men who had been sold into slavery as children
them
by the
niggas, I ain't gonna
Mongols
lie.
had
Facts.
pulled off what no one had ever dreamed possible. They had stopped the unstoppable horde from the east, avenged the Khwarezmian Empire, and saved the Muslim and Christian world. Throughout the following decades, the Mongols would attempt multiple invasions into Syria, but would be pushed back time and time again, until eventually the descendants of Hulagu themselves eventually converted to Islam.
Dang.
If you can't beat him, join him, I guess. As for Qutuz, as epic as his story is, it ends on kind of a down note, as his army was riding back to Cairo to celebrate their victory at Ain
Yeah,
Jalut. He was assassinated by a group of his own soldiers,
Nigga!
probably
Oh,
under
the
the
backdoor's
orders of
crazy.
Baybars himself.
That
What?
nigga's a hoe.
Don't hate the player, hate the
Why
game.
would he do that?
That's some crazy backdoor shit.
think it's-
Oh man.
Bro, he didn't even get to. Oh, man. They hold
They
him.
didn't even make it back to the crib yet. That's crazy.
Like, let's
bro.
go. Oh, yeah, that's crazy as
Like,
shit.
yeah, that's fucked up.
Hey, man, I hope you enjoyed the longer reaction today. I definitely enjoy these type of videos.
100%.
What's the craziest get back?
Craziest get back. Okay, the first. I think the craziest one was the 10 years. The girl waiting 10 years.
I think this would have been the craziest get back, but he died too fast.
He did get packed. You feel me?
But yeah,
What
I
happened?
think this is the so craziest because you gotta think about it. Imagine being like a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. You see your whole parents get like this nigga
Like,
basically Sasuke.
Smoked
This
and
nigga that ass Sasuke.
Yeah.
He watched his whole clan get
Actually,
smoked.
that's a fact. He got his
This nigga
whole-
Sasuke Uchiha.
and he got to be turned to a slave. Damn near Orochimaru, nigga.
Yeah,
Orochimaru
that's what I'm
slave.
saying.
You feel me? Curse mark.
But like I guess like Sapuna get off, but like damn near, right? You get your lick back, you really push them niggas back, you come start wilding and shit.
Yeah.
You have your whole anime scene, and then you get
backdoor.
backdoor. This nigga's a hoe.
That's wild.
Why would you backdoor him? He saved you. You better get smoked if it wasn't for him.
Yeah. I'm still taking the girl though. I think she had the best.
That's your opinion. I think that's definitely a great get back though.
feel me?
And she was free and walked away.
That's
I
what
see
I'm
it.
saying.
I see it. I feel like you can go either way with it.
How she
But-
did it was cold too. But that's besides the point.
Hey man, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more reactions, hit that comment section. Hey man, I'm getting the fuck up out of here, man.
Crest, we out of here. Get the fuck out of my house.